We're at 3500 Kelvin and Arizona Camera Rental's huge studio here in Phoenix. They're putting together a gigantic video wall so they can film stuff like The Mandalorian. And it's ironic because in this huge space, we're going to be talking about some very small lights. I'm here with JJ Bukowski, and he's actually a real cinematographer, so...
Depends on what you define as real.
He's real. He's real.
We make pretty pictures, that's for sure.
So this video's about the Aputure MCs right here. So JJ, I'm wondering, as a cinematographer, do you use these? How do you use them? Why do they matter?
Yeah, so I mean, on a typical order, I've got anywhere from M40s, 18Ks, tow plants, generators, all the way down to tube lights. But I also will usually stick these on the order too, these Aputure MCs, because they're a great last second addition to a scene. Like if I'm looking at say an actor's background and I'm like, I just need a little splash, a little kiss right there. I can just have my gaffer click this on, slide it in, he's on the app, and it's quick. Economy of time on set is really, really what's critical. I've also done entire scenes where we've gone to a location, the locations department hasn't communicated with locations, and locations like, oh, you can't bring those lights in here. And I'm like outside with Geminis and HMIs. Well, what are we gonna do for this location? Well, these little guys, because they're battery operated, at least I have something rather than nothing.
Okay, so the Aputure MC Pros are here. So let's talk about these.
I can't wait to see this.
You haven't seen this yet?
I haven't seen it.
All right, here we go.
Does it still have, okay, so it charges through the pins rather than wireless, okay.
There's so much room for accessories here. Give you these little guys.
I like that. Oh yeah, cool. So you got your baby pins.
Yeah, what I like about this is if we're going on a quick shoot, we know that everything we need for the MCs is in this case.
Right.
So it's like even more like last minute. Oh, easy. Of course we're bringing the MCs.
Yeah, quick.
There's no excuse not to.
Yeah.
So way easier to use in my opinion than the old ones.
Okay, so I mean, obviously the build's a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier. I mean, here you can look at like the difference right there, just in size, build. So talk to me about battery life. These are brighter, so they're gonna draw more battery.
Right, so they are bigger, they have more room for a battery. So Aputure says that these are 4 times as bright as the old MCs, but they have the same battery life. So they're gonna last you just as long.
That's great, very cool. Now, how about intensity? How's the intensity?
So yeah, let's check these out, let's turn them on.
I mean, just to my eye, the new one definitely looks brighter. Well, this one, it looks like what they've done, this has more diffusion. The original MC has more diffusion, and the MC Pro, it's more of just like a shower panel.
Yeah. So here, what I love about these is they just magnetize right on.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Here, how's our key?
Now, how does this look? What do you think? Does that look good?
And then you can obviously choose your accessory, right? So you can lose that diffusion and go just this diffusion.
Right.
So you get a little more punch.
This is their egg crate.
Okay, I love that. I actually had 3D printed one for the original MC. So it worked kind of like that, just a friction-based thing. And my daughter was selling them on Etsy, 3D printing them and selling them on Etsy. I'm glad to not have to deal with this anymore.
So what's great about this little attachment is it screws in, and then this can magnetize to whatever you want.
Dude, that's great. So now you can magnet it to something and have articulation.
Yes.
All right, so just looking at the accessories. Oh, okay, so these are your plates, your replacement for magnet plates. So what a gaffer would normally do is they would just black gaff or black paper over something magnetic, over a little plate, and then stick lights to it. So it's cool that you've got the little sticky plate and then the magnet plate. I really like that. Those will get used. And the fact that they're in the kit too, like there's space for them here. It's a little time saver.
You know, I think Aputure knows that we have these things. You know, we can rig these up, but this takes away the headache. You know, they're really thinking about an all-in-one kit, which is
it's all here. Go grab an MC, grab the arm, and set it on that thing over there. Yeah, no, it's really cool. And then how about the P-tap? What is this for?
So with the P-tap, you could actually charge this with V-mounts.
The one thing I liked about having 12 is obviously because these each have their own individual battery. I always kind of thought of it as, why would you use a light with a battery in it? It's just gonna die right in the middle of your take when you don't need it to. But the fact that there's so many, the unit, when you need to swap a battery, you just swap the unit and have the rest on charge somewhere else.
Right.
So the fact that there were 12 was kind of nice. So having 8, you really now have 4.
Right.
You have 4 in one changeover.
That's true.
So it's like, it's still better than the 4 kit.
So maybe you might need to buy 2 of these.
I might need to buy 2 actually. Yeah, sign me up.
So JJ, here's the question. You had the old MCs. These are called the MC Pros. Are these pro?
Honestly, I do like the build quality is clearly better. It comes with everything you need, including the grid. Okay, here, you wanna know what makes it pro? Having the grid. I'd say it's worthy of the name Pro, for sure.
I think it's interesting, and this is just a small anecdote, that you asked for the grid and they delivered it. So I think it's interesting, and this is why I love Aputure, and I'm a huge fanboy of Aputure, because I feel like there's this company that started from nowhere, and what drives them? It's not their internal design team, it's listening to real filmmakers. I noticed that you actually own a lot of Aputure lights. And I'm curious if you always loved LED lights. Talk to me about your evolution over the years.
Yeah, that's a good question. In fact, in the early days of Aputure, very early days, I used to tell my gaffers, make sure no crapature units show up on my set. Sorry. But now, like, as things have evolved and there's, we've seen the changeover, I've replaced all my M18s, all my 1600s with Aputure units with 1200Ds, and not having to change globes, not having to worry, is it gonna fire this time? Is it gonna strike? Those have saved me a lot of time and a lot of money, so.
So you like Aputure now?
I've come around.
Okay, you use Aputure, you shoot big stuff, but why don't I see them on movies? What do you think it would take to bring Aputure even to the next level? What do you want to see next?
Well, there's still really no Aputure unit or any LED that can replace the sun currently. Like the 1200 can do a nice thing through a window, it's enough to give you something outside, but it's not an M40, it's not an M90. I mean, you're already seeing Aputure on more movie sets. In fact, last year I did a movie. My gaffer pushed hard for a lot of Aputure units.
Well, if you enjoyed this video and you want to subscribe to our channel, please don't. We definitely don't want any new subscribers. Thank you.